So I'd like to call the meeting to order, please, and begin with the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would ask everyone to note the civility and decorum statement at the top. I'm not going to read it. School board meeting shall proceed according to board policy. At this point, we would like roll call, Madam Secretary.
Mr. Crispin. Mr. Fedorcha.
Here.
Ms. Franz.
Here.
Ms. Husak. Here. Mr. Kern.
Here.
Ms. Culp.
Here.
Ms. Snyder.
Here.
Ms. Williams.
Here.
Mr. Green.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Okay. You've already received copies of the previous meeting. Is there a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Motion, is there a second?
Second.
Any additions or corrections? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. And so ordered. I didn't see any, the people are all,
For public comment for this agenda item.
which one was that?
School calendar, Mrs. Frank.
Okay, there is, okay, I apologize. There is one person who wanted to comment on an agenda item. You know
I
who
don't
that
know
is?
when to go though.
You want to do it?
So when is the school
It's up to you, whatever.
It is under.
What?
Hold on 1 second.
For the calendar?
Yeah.
It's E and F on page 6.
Oh, yeah, so that's under
Should be under
curriculum and
instruction.
CNI.
Yep.
So, Mrs. Frank, you can wait until curriculum and instruction, or you can go now. Okay, thank you.
You said you'll wait, I think. I heard.
Yeah, I'll wait.
Okay, thank you. All right, then we'll proceed with board reports. CLIU, Ms. Husak.
I really have no report this evening. Our next meeting is March 17th. We skip February, so we're more to come next meeting, but just a reminder, our golf tournament is still slated for June 17th. I believe it's a Tuesday, out at Old Homestead. That does support the Children's Foundation, so if you have some time on your calendar and availability, hopefully for a nice day, there is a link on our website. Feel free to go out. Love the participation in that. That's all I have today.
Thank you. Just trying to get caught up here. Mr. Fedorcha, Lehigh Career and Technical Institute.
You have the minutes of our last meeting, and I only have 2 items. One is that we have a resignation from our business manager, and we are now in the process of looking for a new business manager at LCTI. Also, that 6 of the 9 school districts have approved our budget. That doesn't mean the other 3 have not. They just have not done so yet. So we're looking to have an unanimous decision on our budget. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any legislative items?
Nothing to report this
Thank you. Regarding LTRIC, we had our meeting, and likewise, I think we have 2 districts that have not approved the budget, and again, it's because of timeframes that the people indicated they were pretty positive on it. We also had some conversation about scholarships, and the association is making, there's just all kind of scholarships available down there, so anyone, and I see a lot of high school age kids here, you know, if you're looking for something, you can go there. It's like, it's cheaper than going to McDonald's, you know. I mean, it's like, so just keep your eye on that. If you're ever in that situation where you're looking to go somewhere and money's tight, there's a lot of ways to work around it. So that's my report. You have the committee meeting reports. Highlight of the night. Ta-da!
Hello everyone, it's nice to see you all again. Olivia and I have some information regarding the school and athletic events occurring this month. To begin, the high school is throwing their annual spring play, Big Fish, from March 13th to the 16th. Tickets can be purchased online or at the door. We hope to see you all there celebrating our theater club and all the hard work that they've put in this season. We'd like to congratulate Slate's editor-in-chief, Lacey Groover, who won her first place for her story, My Scars Don't Define Me, in the Student Keystone Media Awards. L-Tri-C is visiting the high school on March 19th at 12:30. Local scholarships to any seniors are available on March 17th. Applications for high schoolers interested in attending LCTI are available. Course selections for current 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th graders are available. Student Council is planning their annual Spring Pep Rally for Friday, April 4th. Spring and winter sports will be acknowledged, as well as some fun games that the student body can participate in. Junior-senior prom is on Saturday, April 5th at Woodstone Country Club. That is all I have for tonight, and thank you all.
Good evening, everyone. I will be giving our sports report for tonight. I don't have much, but because it's just the beginning of the spring sports, but on Monday, March 3rd, during Winter Sports Awards Night, student athletes Caitlin Barthold and Tegan Sims won Outstanding Basketball Player for Girls Basketball, and Connor Sims and Kellen Bauer won the Outstanding Basketball Players for Boys Basketball, and Cody Mazoka was named Outstanding Wrestler. Congratulations to all who won an award that night. We know that you worked hard to earn it. Spring sports officially started on Monday, March 3rd. On Monday, March 17th at 2:30 p.m., there will be a letter of intent press conference in the high school auditorium for senior athletes Caitlin and Dakota Barthold, Logan Burfield, Michaela Gordon, Addison Sierra, Cyrus Kinchin, Gabriella Hanna, and Marissa Mayer, who all plan to continue their sports at the collegiate level. And that is all I have for tonight.
Thank you. Just say one thing. This young lady, on Friday, we had our, and I hope I'm not taking something away from you, Doctor.
Steal my thunder, sir.
We had a chamber board meeting here, and she did a presentation, and I will say this, you impressed everyone. You did an excellent job, and whatever you're going to do in your future, I'm sure you're going to succeed.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Yeah. Any other questions or comments? Thank you, Mr. Fedorcha. Thank you for your comments. Where are we? Mr. Solicitor, are you next? Yeah, I guess so. Do you have anything for this evening?
No, I don't. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Assistant Superintendent, Dr. Stoker.
Thank you. We have our monthly data report. So if you turn your attention to our screen, we're going to present this evening on curriculum and professional development. Mr. Pine is going to start for us with curriculum.
So the slides I'm going to go over, they'll look familiar. They're basically an update on slides that we presented at this time last year. So the first goal that we had for the comprehensive plan was just articulating the curriculum. So as you know, coming into this position, there was articulated curriculum that was very outdated. It was not necessarily reflective of what we were doing. So you'll see up there, I'll give you a second to read that, our first 3 years within this comprehensive plan, as well as that year 0. So the year that we actually worked on this plan where we got math, ELA, foreign language, and ELDP in place. Year 1, social studies, business, and technology. Year 2, FCS, health, PE, science, and careers. That last one we are still polishing up a little bit. And then this year we're working with our art, music, and library K through 12 teachers. So, began all work in school year 21-22, completed math, ELA, and foreign language, as I said, social studies, business, and technology. I will say, and this comes out at a bullet later, we are currently in the process after some schedule changes and some alignment changes across the grade levels, particularly as middle school goes into high school, currently conducting a revision of business and technology within that span. And like I said, we're wrapping, revising FCS, HP, Science, Steels. Science and Steels is wrapped up. And careers, and we're currently in progress with art and music and our ELDP, taking a closer look at that. And we will, as of next year, be revising math, hopefully by the end of the year with the new math adoption. As we found with the ELA program, this second phase for any of these where we're adopting these sort of very cohesive programs is going to be much easier because the newer programs really do have a lot of supports in order to be able to articulate the curriculum, align it to the standards and things like that. So the next thing that we committed to work on was assessments, specifically common assessments. So by the end of the 24-25 school year, to have common assessments and/or assessment practices for the following content areas, and I'll explain that and/or as we sort of get to the second half of this grouping. Math, ELA, and foreign language, which are now in place. We'll say at the high school, we're now revisiting those common assessments, and the high school is working on that during TCT time. But again, these goals are achieved. We're just continually going back and revising as we're finding areas to work on. Social studies, business, and technology, and then year 3 and 4 there with FCS, health, PE, science, careers, and then art, music, and library, which is actually next year. A lot of these courses, actually, we tend to have a person who teaches it, so it's pretty common across that one person's practices, but we are working within those areas to develop some common like rubrics and assessment practices. So in that way, when we're looking at art assignments, we kind of have a system by which we're evaluating them and things like that in order to make sure, and not we didn't, teachers had systems, right, but it just wasn't communicated, I think, between teachers and across grade levels. I've been really, really excited this year with our K through 12 departments, specifically art, music, library, PE, and health, that we've been able to get them together a lot this year in order to work across those buildings, because sometimes we have one teacher in a building and they're working in a silo until we create those opportunities. So, I keep forgetting I've got this next slide on here that's supposed to guide me through this part. But you take a look at that. So again, completed math, ELA, and foreign language, social studies, business, and technology. The subsequent year in 23-24 FCS, health, PE, science, and careers. And then in progress right now, we're working through art, music, and library. They're working on the curriculum, but they have already been putting together some common rubrics and checklists and things like that they'd like to use in order to evaluate some of those content areas that don't necessarily fit into, well, I mean, I'm going to say Scantron, that's dating me a little bit, but into a typical multiple choice, true, false, like easily measurable format. And then evaluation of the curriculum. So we did pick up Ed Insight several years ago. And so one of the commitments was to begin inputting all of this curriculum into Ed Insight. I think initially the hope here on my part was that Ed Insight would serve for the teachers as a hub where they'd be able to do that. We've created other avenues for them to do that since then. I mean, I think you've seen some of the things that we put together for the website, and we have some extensions of those that actually are a little bit easier to work with in terms of them accessing materials associated with the curriculum, but it certainly does still remain a really powerful tool for auditing our curriculum. So basically the idea here was to have these entered and evaluated in each of the years as you see them up there. This time I remembered I have the next slide. Oh, no, I remembered too quickly. Evaluation, so all the curriculum that should be put in Ed Insight at this time is in the platform, with the exception of social studies. That's in progress. So right now I'm trying to work through how to put in some of the additional standards that are covered with Amplify, as well as putting some units that have already been covered within our social studies programming. Careers curriculum inputted and evaluated ahead of schedule. Actually, I see Mr. Weber in the room. He was very helpful with that because he had curriculum done well ahead of schedule for our program at the middle school. Expected to have FCS, health, PE, and science in prior to the 25-26 school year start. Science, we have everything outlined, as I said, in one of those sort of Excel sheets that has all of those resources for the teachers. This summer, it's going to be one of my projects to get that into Ed Insight. I will say with science, I anticipate standards coverage, again, because it's a newer program, and the newer programs seem to be they're very conscientious about the national standards and the translation, that crosswalk to the state standards. In the process of evaluating and forming communication regarding standards alignment. So what I mean by that, I was trying to figure out all the ways to write this sentence. But as we move through the subsequent curriculum cycle, conducting these audits, conducting these evaluations, and then finding ways to communicate those back out to the teachers and get them talking about how to make changes, make additions if we have to make additions, address redundancies if we have redundancies, essentially get a more efficient curriculum that is effective underway. And the last bullet there, I mean, the plan right now, I mean, thanks to the school board, thanks to Dr. Bali at the high school, thanks to the entire administration for our Act 80 days, right, is to use those lunch and learn and data days to consistently set up a schedule year after year to evaluate our curriculum, our assessments, and how well it's articulated and sort of connected to those standards. I think that might be my last one.
Do you want to pitch while everybody's here about curriculum on the website?
Oh, sure, yeah, absolutely. So we do have, and again, please understand, so I'm used to a MacBook. So, do you
Oh, do you want to show where it is?
I mean, I do have on the website, it is a work in progress, a curriculum, I guess, outward-facing warehouse for our community and for our parents and students to review. Bring that up, I'll show you what it looks like. I'm looking to use this consistent format. And I guess, I mean, now's a good time to say, if anyone has any feedback, I mean, this is all sort of internally designed based on what we thought would be helpful. In order to very quickly kind of get a handle. Let's click on LI. So it basically breaks down. Up here you'll find K1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it breaks down. Kindergarten ELA is broken into skills and knowledge units. What the overall objective is of the unit, what the specific objectives are, what the skills are as they're associated with the standards, the amount of time that each unit should take approximately. And then it's not in this copy, but in the teacher's copies, there's columns that include those resources, assessments, and things like that. I can quickly show you another one, because I like the math one too. So you can see exactly what skills are being taught throughout the entire career of a student here at Northern Lehigh. So I like that this is a living document because we can continually make those revisions and changes as we need to. I promise it won't be week to week. It won't be like you looked on Friday and all of a sudden something's different on Monday. But this should give parents, community, and you know, our students a fairly good idea of, you know, the map of things and where things are going. So, thanks. I guess any questions? Okay.
Okay, next I'll highlight the professional development efforts across our district, from administrators to faculty to support staff. We are committed to ongoing learning that strengthens our skills, enhances student support, and fosters a culture of growth and capacity building. Obviously, these will not be exhaustive lists. This is to date where we are. It does not include, you know, books people are reading, podcasts that they're listening to, independent courses they're taking, or research and other things that people are doing individually. This slide highlights the professional development of our administrative team, who continue to expand expertise through their PILS courses, ensuring that we remain at the forefront of educational leadership. It's exciting to see more and more of our administrators showcasing their knowledge and highlighting the great work that is happening in our schools by presenting at conferences. These opportunities not only strengthen our district's reputation, but also allow us to refine our practices and bring innovative strategies back to Northern Lehigh. So this is just a sample of some of the things that our administrative team is doing. This slide highlights what's happening with our faculty. We are enhancing our faculty's capacity to support students by training teams in de-escalation techniques and CPI, and collaborating with a partner organization to address challenging behaviors. At the same time, we're leveraging data-driven insights and AI tools to improve instruction and decision-making. A key focus this year has been Amplify CKLA training in our elementary schools. As we implement our new ELA program, these efforts ensure that our educators have the strategy and resources to meet students where they are, providing the support they need to thrive and achieve success. And lastly, our staff. By the end of this year, all staff will have completed Act 55 safety training, which includes 1 hour of in-person instruction on recognizing concerning behaviors and emergency drill procedures. We appreciate Chief Jones, I don't know if you can hear us out in the hallway, our school safety and security coordinator, for leading these important training sessions. He does that multiple times throughout the year. In addition, staff will complete 2 hours of online PCCD training focused on behavioral health awareness and suicide prevention and bullying awareness. Each department also participates in specialized training relevant to their roles, which is the case across administration and faculty as well, such as school nutrition toolbox trainings for our food service staff. This year, we're also excited to introduce new networking groups. For instance, there's the Heart of the School, which will bring together administrative assistants from across the district for the first time at CLIU 21 with their counterparts from other districts. These collective efforts ensure that every staff member is well equipped to contribute to a safe, supportive, and well-connected learning environment. And again, these are just some of the samples of PD that our staff is doing. Any questions on curriculum or professional development? Thank you. That's my report this evening.
I'd like to thank both of you for the presentation. Also, I want to take a minute. Looks like there's some people out in the hall. If you want to take a minute and you want to come in, there are some chairs in here. You know, you can sneak your way in if you want. We're giving you a chance, you know. No? We're okay?
I invited them in, they said they're okay.
Okay, just, we gave you a chance, you know, so. Where are we? Business manager, Ms. Malatoris.
No report this evening, thank you.
Dr. Lee?
Thank you, Mr. Green. Tonight, I would like to recognize 2 retirements. We are going to be pulling 1 retirement from the agenda. One of our teachers has decided that they want to reconsider their actual retirement date. So tonight, we are going to recognize briefly long-term educators in the Northern Lehigh School District. First on the agenda is Ms. Von der Lorsen, who will be retiring at the end of this school year. Ms. Lorsen has been a dedicated business education teacher at the high school since 2004. Next, after over 30 years of service in the district, our athletic director, Mr. Brian Geis, will also be retiring at the end of the school year. Mr. Geis has served the district in multiple capacities, including as athletic director, mathematics teacher, department chair, and coach. We will provide a more in-depth recognition of both Ms. Lorsen and Mr. Geis as they near the conclusion of their tenure at Northern Lehigh, with a formal acknowledgement planned for the May board meeting. So for now, I see Mr. Geis with us this evening. I don't see Ms. Lorsen. Mr. Geis, thank you. We truly appreciate everything you've done for the school district. I would also like to take a moment. Earlier you heard Jayla mention that we're, this week launches the production of Big Fish, the school edition. As well, I'd like to encourage everyone in the audience, as well as those watching the live stream, to be sure to hopefully attend one of those showings of Big Fish. They are March 13th to the 15th, each evening at 7 p.m. in the high school auditorium, and then the final showing is March 16th at 2 p.m. Tickets can be purchased at the door or online simply by going to our school district website. This evening, I would also like to recognize several of our students for their outstanding recent achievements, and these certainly are outstanding achievements. The following Northern Lehigh School students who also attend LCTI recently competed in a DECA state-level competition conference in Hershey, and I'm pleased to report their success. First, we have Savannah Hall in the Marketing and Entrepreneurship program. She won the gold medal in the membership campaign category. Julia Jakovitz, Marketing and Entrepreneurship program as well. She actually designed, her design was selected for the PA DECA ICDC pin design contest. So she designed the pin and it was used for the entire conference for all the chapters that were there. And she also took first place in the plan of action category. And finally, McKenna Kirk, Advertising Design and Commercial Art program, won first place in the chapter banner contest. And that was a team competition. She was on that team. They won first place. Congratulations to Savannah, Julia, and McKenna, who will now advance to the National DECA Conference in Orlando, Florida. Best of luck to them as they represent Northern Lehigh and LCTI on the national stage. So some significant accomplishments earlier in February out in Hershey. I would also like to compliment, and she snuck out already, but I just wanted to reinforce what Mr. Fedorcha had said earlier. I would also like to compliment our junior student representative to the board, Ms. Olivia Schaefer, who recently presented to the Greater Northern Lehigh Chamber of Commerce, just as Jayla, our senior representative, has done in years past. She was not able to join us this year. Olivia came in early this past Friday morning when students have off. She was here at 7:20 in the morning. To present to the chamber meeting, which was hosted here in our boardroom. Olivia shared a bit about herself, including the many activities and groups she is involved in the school district and community, everything from a 9-year Girl Scout participant, varsity cheerleader, National Honor Society, and many, many other groups within the school district and community. She also provided the chamber with a full update on the high school, just as she does for the school board each month. She did an excellent job representing the district to the local business owners, community service groups, and members of the local government. So thank you, Olivia, and we hope to have her back next year as a senior representative to a chamber meeting. Next, I'd like to seek direction from the school board regarding mailing of paper surveys to the community. As previously discussed during the February committee meeting, this is in regards to potentially moving to a common campus model in Northern Lehigh School District. Administration has been working to facilitate this process through the United States Postal Service, but has proven to be cumbersome and unclear. Over the past 4 weeks, Mrs. Moltorz and I have navigated a lengthy, and at times somewhat frustrating series of steps, including interacting with the USPS website and making multiple calls to customer support, coordinating with post offices in Slatington, Lehigh, and Kentucky to determine the most effective operations and how to complete them, being directed to Lehigh only to be told that they could not process our request and we need to return to Slatington, and then learning that applications must be processed online, which we began, and then approved by an office in New York, requiring additional multi-day turnaround times, and then returning to the Lehigh branch for the next step in the multi-step approval process. At one point, after following all the instructions given to us, we were ultimately informed that we had received inaccurate guidance, leading to further internal USPS discussions amongst themselves. So, given the ongoing delays and unexpectedly high costs, I now recommend exploring alternative solutions to ensure that community members, particularly those who are not parents, guardians, or employees, still have an opportunity to provide input. So as an alternative, I propose that we still we still send directly to all of our employees and parents and guardians a direct link to respond to the survey questions. And instead of doing paper mailings of surveys to all the community members who do not fall into one of those categories, we place a link on the district website for community members to access and submit their input.
Yes, no.
Advertising in local media when a public Act 34 hearing is scheduled. That's a hearing that school districts are compelled to have whenever they are looking to do an addition to an existing building that is greater than 20% of the existing square footage of the building, where community members can come in and publicly provide input at the meeting, and making paper surveys available at the district office for any individuals who prefer to complete them in person. So at this point, I'm looking direction from the school board to be able to move forward with the proposed alternative methods for community members to provide input on potential expansions at Northern Lehigh Middle School first, and then Slatington Elementary School. So that does conclude my report this evening, Mr. Green, and I will turn it over to you for discussion on survey completion.
Okay. I just had a conversation with the solicitor, and we do not need a motion of any type for him to move forward, okay? I just wanted to clarify that. So we're looking for input. Do you like the idea? Don't you like the idea? Where do you want to go from here? It's more of a discussion scenario. So I'll open it up. Anyone?
I'm fine with the options you listed, Matt. You're going to put something on the website. You're talking about having paper surveys available here. You're sending things out to parents, employees, and so forth. I'm fine with the suggestions that you have there as an alternative.
I'll look right if anyone wants to comment, or...
I'm good with those, and really, it looks the most efficient way to do it, looking about the runaround that we've been going through, yes. Unbelievable.
Any thoughts, Ms. Williams?
I agree.
Okay.
Fine with the change.
Yeah, that's fine. I know we're going to be advertising in the Times News and Morning Call about the survey being online, or they can come pick up a paper copy if they want to.
Yes, we can run those advertisements in both local newspapers.
Okay. I think you have some direction. I think you can proceed with your plan as you presented it, and we'll go from there.
Okay, thank you to the school board. I appreciate the direction.
Okay. Anything else this evening, sir?
That concludes my report.
Thank you. Okay, an executive session was held at 5:45 p.m. this evening in the administrative building conference room. we discussed personnel items and negotiations. Those were the two items discussed. Okay, at this point, let's move ahead with the agenda. We have personnel items, and again, as was stated earlier, item A2 is being pulled. So it's item A, 1 and 3, B, C, D, all the way down to, where's the end of it?
Okay. Yeah.
Down to
N.
G. N, G,
And
H, I, J. No, wait.
I move that, sir.
Motion to approve the items, yeah, it goes all the way down to there. Mr. Bedoya, is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Bob. Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. We then move into policy. Got a bunch of policy items there. Is there a motion to approve policy?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions on the policy? I think these were all reviewed at the committee meeting. Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. And so ordered. We have 4 conferences. Is there a motion to approve the conferences?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Questions on conferences? Anyone? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. And so ordered. Curriculum instruction, we have items A down to G. Is there a motion to approve those items?
So moved.
But you want to,
There's going to be public comment
Comment.
on letters E, on
yeah,
letter E.
we'll get that. I'm just
You
getting
should
a
move
motion.
it first and then open it up to public comment. I do move it.
You still move it, Gary, right? Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Okay, question or discussion? Public comment.
Okay. So coming back from the committee meeting on last Monday, Dr. Link and I did sit down and we had some discussions regarding the school calendar. We did work out on these new pre-planned virtual days, what those days would look like for teachers and how they would be receiving time for posting these asynchronous assignments. During these discussions, I did advocate for educators to be in front of students. Educators know how important data is, and our data is showing that despite having more in-service days than neighboring districts, we are building in pre-planned virtual days to the school calendar, taking away direct instruction to fit more meeting days, instead of just looking at the contractual in-service days and how to better support our student needs. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Any response at all? No?
It was a good conversation, I believe.
Any other questions for the board? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. And so ordered. I have nothing this evening under old business. Under new business, we have items A through E. Is there a motion to approve the new business items?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any questions on new business, discussion?
No, I just wanted to say, I think it's great that Lehigh is offering extracurricular activities for the junior high programs and the high school varsity wrestling program, which is really nice. So I'm not sure how many other districts have that, but I like the fact that we are giving our students more opportunities to participate in things. So thank you.
It's my understanding, and I look toward Mr. Guy, he said we have more and more and more students signing up to participate in various extracurricular activities. And I noticed girls wrestling is on here, and it appears that you may have enough to kind of fill every spot on the team that are signed up already. I don't know if you want to
You're familiar with wrestling, Mr. Green, that hopefully we fill in the classes, but we have 13 girls that have signed up. We have 4 girls that went and wrestled against boys during the regular season, that showed the grit, determination, then wrestled in districts against other girls that paved the way for an entire team. So I'd like to thank the board for their support in providing a girls wrestling program.
Thank you, Mr. Geis. Okay, we didn't vote on that yet. Any other discussion? Thank you, Donna, for your input. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those no. Opposed, no. And so ordered.
Mr. Green, may I make
Yeah.
a comment? I just wanted to thank the board as well as the collective bargaining team for the white collar support Had a really great collaborative meeting and a successful collaboration, really a win for both sides. So thank you to the table team and thank you to the board for making a great contract.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
bringing that up. I understand that the meetings were kind of friendly for the most part, and we didn't have some kind of the bitterness that occurred in the previous meeting. So thanks to everyone who participated. We didn't do financial yet, did we? No. Okay, we're at financial. Motion, is there a second? Second. Did someone second? Okay, I didn't, I was resting my paper. Thank you. Any discussion or questions on the financial items? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. We have one legal item. Is there a motion to approve that item?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you. I'm not sure we could have questions on that, so we're going to just go right to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. And so ordered. I have no correspondence. Anything this way?
No correspondence?
No correspondence, thank you. Couple information items. And now the moment you've all been waiting for, the recognition of guests. I hope I pronounce your names right on here. Is it Fran Mesa?
Francine.
Yeah, okay. You got it. Okay. If we're commenting on personnel, I just want to say this up front. We're probably not going to respond on advice of counsel, you know, so, but we do want to hear what you have to say. At the last meeting, there were some people that commented, and we urged them to comment, so we appreciate your comment, but just, you know, we probably can't respond. So you got the floor. You have 5 minutes, so.
Thank you. Thank you. My name is Francine Meshi. I am a volunteer basketball and soccer coach. I've been coaching since 2018 with Mr. Mike Bauer. I am here in support of Mike Bauer as last week's call on the meeting, there were some statements that were made that I feel were false. I've been coaching, like I said, since 2018. I coached this year. Luckily enough, Mike picked me as his assistant to coach the middle school boys basketball team, Team A, and then I was the head coach of the B team. Some of those children, our boys, are in the room today in support of Mike. I was present with Mike through the whole season, whether it was at practice, which I would open every day at 2 o'clock, and we would run till 4:30. I was in the locker room, I was in the gym, I was in the huddle. I even ran the bus with the children as well to the games and back. We had a lot of fun. Practices were relaxed. We had a lot of fun with the kids. The youth, 5, 6 youth would join. High school would join. The varsity boys would join. Practices were fun. I didn't think that they were strict. I didn't hear any yelling. I didn't think Mike was aggressive. In fact, I think I was the one asking to run the boys a little bit more. Mike to me is what Northern Lehigh stands for. I think he's a very heartfelt individual. He cares about the organization. Every time I sat with Mike on the bench, he would talk about the future of Northern Lehigh, where we're going, where the program's going, what we're going to do this summer, are we going to have a summer league? And for that, that's all we talked about. Nothing else, just basketball and soccer, which he got me to coach. I don't have any children in this, I don't have any children at all. To me, all of the kids are mine, right? I have a full-time job that consumes me a lot. I run 250 employees, 8,000 hours. I'm a very busy person. If you ask these kids, sometimes I had to take conference calls on the court. But I did it because I love the kids. I love having fun with them. I got to learn a lot of them. Never really heard Mike ever curse. If anything, asked the boys. They were always the ones cursing, and I was always the one yelling at their mom. I told them the only F word I would ever want to hear is my name, and they became a joke. What the Fran? If anything, we were the ones getting berated. Whether it was on Facebook because we smiled too much, or we weren't coaching correctly, or the plays didn't work. Then there was a night I was alone. Mike had left to go watch his amazing son over here play varsity basketball. He's having a great season, a great year. A parent came across the court, spoke to their son, came over to me in front of all the kids. Okay, it's one thing to talk to me in person, privately, right? I don't want these kids to hear or see what's going on. They don't need to do that. It was on the court in front of an away team. Asked me why we didn't play their kid. explained, it was a coaching decision. They just continued to scream at me. The kids were behind me. I tried to walk out. Long story short, stated that his kid was the best and that they were going to take it to the appropriate channels and that they just simply didn't like Mike Bow. I in fact did write an email. I did go to Mr. Geis and Mr. Hauser with all that information and those details. To me, Mike is no way a monster as they portrayed him to be. In fact, Mike is a leader and a kind-hearted person, like I said. I wouldn't associate with anybody else if that's how he was. Because I'm quite the quiet one. I'm always the one in the shadows. But today I felt I had to speak up and do what was right. If this was happening, I would have reported it to the chain of command. I would have Mr. Fowler, Mr. Geis, Mr. Hauser, maybe even his wife, even you fine folks. Why did they keep coming to practice? Why wasn't it reported? Why didn't anybody speak to any of the people in the chain of command? I'm here today again for Mike Bauer. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
Moving down, I see Jill. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry.
It's a hard one. All right, so like you said, my name is Jill Botfelder, and I'm also here on behalf of Mike Bauer. I'm hoping that Mr. Geis had shared a email that I sent last week. I'm not sure if he did, but coincidentally, I was already writing that email to praise the season and the middle school coaching staff, but after I heard that my son was questioned last week at school, pulled down to the office, I knew I had to definitely write something and say how much we actually appreciate Mike. Unfortunately, I was unaware at that time that there was accusations that were made at the committee meeting. So after that, I was appalled by hearing the lies, straight up lies. My son has played middle school basketball for the last 2 years, and not at all has he ever complained about how Coach Mike treated any of the players. My son is very open with me, and he always has been. We always talk, in the car about what happened in the locker room, what happened at practice, what happened at the games. And I've always done that with any sport. He plays multiple sports through Northern Lehigh. And we just talk about everything. Not once did he ever mention anything but good stuff in the locker room. Did Mike say, hey, you guys are playing like crap? Maybe even saying the word shit? Sure. But that happens. You're passionate about, the game. You're talking to people. It's not a big deal. I'm not a parent that needs a coach to sugarcoat anything. And the accusers say he told them that they were playing like shit. You can tell me that that those kids never heard that from their own parent, came out of their own mouth, a sibling, a friend, even teachers. Things slip, things come out of your mouth. As far as having kids feel threatened by Coach Mike and him retaliating against players due to their parents, absolutely not. If you have ever come and watched any of these middle school games, you will see that your spot is earned. It was always known that the A team would play to win and the B team would have equal playing time as long as, so they can learn, and throughout the season, that might change a bit. I was at least 99% of the games, the A and B. But I missed one game that was away, and then after my son played in the A game at the Northwestern game, I did leave. The reason I left and not watched the B team was because I was disgusted by the parents. During the A game, one of our players was injured, and ironically, it happened to be Michael Bauer, Coach Mike's son. When he got up and came over to sit and to get treated by the trainer, not one of those parents clapped. I was so disgusted. Found out that, after that, I had to leave. And I have to ask you, is this the Northern Lehigh way? Are we not supporting the kids? And that is what Mike Bauer, Coach Mike Bauer, is doing. He supports all the kids, regardless of what their parents think of him or anything he does. So I am asking you guys all to quiet all the noise. And with Mr. Geist and Mr. Hauser speaking to the team, from what I've heard, after talking to some of the other kids that have played for him, all of Coach Mike's current players at middle school, the allegations are false. Please take a look. Later on, someone's going to hand you the petition that we have. Look at the current middle school parents that have signed the one that we give you. You will have more on there than you did last week. And there is one thing that I am kind of concerned about, and I'm not quite sure what happened, but luckily Fran came and spoke. Coach Fran came today, but nobody reached out to her She was the only other adult in that locker room where these accusations are being brought up. I'm glad that she was here, and if you have other people that you would like to talk to, at the games, you had teachers that were security guards. Mr. Olin was there, Mr. Reinhardt. Most of the time, they were the ones that were there. Maybe speak to them if you're doing any more investigation. So I'm hopeful that you guys will do the right thing and continue to have Coach Mike coach. I urge you to clear his name that they have tarnished. For the record, I thank Coach Mike and Coach Fran for an amazing record-breaking season, which they had a record-breaking season at middle school. My son loves basketball because of them. Thank you.
Thank you. I assume you're Chad?
Yeah. I'm her husband, Chad. Cooper is our son. He started playing basketball in 7th grade, pretty much at the behest of his friend Michael Bauer, Coach Mike's son. They hang out together, they play basketball together. They played summer league together, which Coach Bauer coached as well. He coached high school kids the whole way down to the youth level. This year he coached 3rd and 4th graders the whole way up to middle school. So basically taught him the game. My youngest son, who's not here right now, started playing this year, 5th grade, pretty much because he's seen all of his friends. Coach Mike's other sons, Zach, Cam, pretty much got them into the love of the game, and I pretty much put that on Michael Bauer's shoulders, that he's the one that encouraged them to play basketball. He's director of NLYA Soccer, the Youth Soccer League. Him and his wife pretty much run basketball as well. They just currently did the 6th grade moving up ceremony. Even after these allegations were made, he and his wife showed up there, brave-faced, ran the whole event. Mike emceed it. Jackie handed out gifts to the 6th graders. So even though these parents are making these allegations, they still showed up for the kids. And I feel like that shows Mike Bauer's character as a coach, as a person, and like Fran and Jill said before, like his name should be cleared. Obviously you can't speak on personnel matters, but I feel like a thorough investigation should be done on both sides of that as well. There were some 7th graders, and my son spoke to this, to my wife and I, pretty much disrespectful this year, whether it be on the bus. There was a disrespect of the middle school girls team. They didn't have such a great season. Coach Bauer sent out a message to players and parents on the Band app, basically encouraging them to fess up on who was the person who was talking about these kids from the middle school girls team and bad-mouthing them. If that doesn't show his character as a coach, as a person, then I don't know what does. Someone who's not even on his team, but still goes to school with these children on his team. So as far as that, that's basically all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Chad. Going down, the next one I see is Jackie. Is it Jackie Bauer? Is that the right name? You're next.
I'm going to read from my phone, sorry. I had it on paper, but.
No, that's okay.
Good evening. My name is Jackie Bauer, and I have proudly been a member of Northern Lehigh community for over a decade. My children attend Peters Elementary, Slatington Middle School, and Northern Lehigh High School. Throughout their academic careers, none of my children have ever had a disciplinary issue. My son Kellen, who is with me today, a sophomore, currently ranks 3rd in his class. If you were to ask any of their teachers about them, I have no doubt you would hear nothing but positive feedback. For the past 4 years, my husband has been the coach of middle school boys basketball. Over the past 3 years, the boys varsity basketball team has a record of 11 wins and 93 losses. Living through seasons where a team has won 2 games and lost 22 games is not easy. Unfortunately, the JV basketball team's record has been even worse. Just like any of the parents involved with basketball, my husband and I have endured some really tough seasons. The one bright spot among Northern Lehigh boys basketball teams has been the middle school team. 2 seasons ago, the middle school team was 10-6, and this season, the boys team was 11-5. As you may be aware, recently there has been some disgruntled parents who have made some harsh accusations regarding the head coach of the middle school boys basketball team. If you listen to their testimony, a few of the parents, you may have picked up on the keyword statements, "This didn't happen to my child, but." Unfortunately, that phrase will likely be overlooked while the parents attempt to malign my husband's character. These statements were permitted to be publicly aired even though there had been no investigation. Furthermore, for the past 2 seasons, my husband Mike has had an assistant coach who was present at all games and practices. Coach Fran, who has already contacted Mr. Geist in the school district to completely refute these allegations. In fact, during the last 4 seasons, my husband has never been contacted by the athletic director, varsity basketball coach or by any parent to suggest that his language has been inappropriate to players or bullying of the players. I am aware that Mr. Geis has received numerous emails regarding the unfairness of the situation. If a parent had a complaint, why would the parent not contact the head coach? In 4 seasons, no parent has once stopped my husband regarding harsh language. No parent has approached my husband because there was no usage of this language. Listen to the parents themselves. During their own testimony, they say, "It never happened to my kid." These are their own words. I'd urge Mr. Geis to share all of the emails that flooded his email since Tuesday, or whatever day it was, to refute these allegations. Finally, my husband and I understand that everyone has a bad moment. Surely you all can relate to a time when you've said something, you've done something that you prefer was not publicly aired. However, since my husband's character has been impugned, I'm now forced to share my own story about the parents who have made the accusations. On January 29th, Ben Schaefer verbally accosted and abused Coach Fran after the away game at Lehigh. Mr. Schaefer charged Coach Fran, screamed at her in front of the players and bus driver, and demanded that his son be recognized as the best player on the team. Furthermore, my husband has text messages where Andy Hasselt complains that his son should be playing over a specific player. My husband has text messages where Mr. Hyman complains that he doesn't want his son to be getting screamed at by Mr. Hasselt. One parent complains about the other, and then the parent complains about the next. You see the cycle. Again, these are all documented complaints that should have stayed private. With all the struggles of our boys basketball program, what good does this do when we try to publicly humiliate one another? We never asked for this. We never wanted this. It's time for this to stop. I prefer not to explore the complaint histories associated with these people, but I can talk at length about the abusive language and CYS confrontation that is surrounding one of the parents. But an eye for an eye leaves everybody blind. Again, the parents who are associated with Northern Lehigh boys basketball have suffered enough through the years after years of losing. Finally, please keep in mind, my husband and I are directors of youth basketball and soccer. As volunteers, we try to engage the community with as many positive outcomes as possible. However, when you deal with many families, sometimes people get offended and they seek personal vendettas. The accusations are far more serious than coaching because the accusations stain the reputations of families and my children. Kids who never asked to be a part of these feuds. Like you, we've done our best. Like you, we have made mistakes. But we have never taken our grievances to public for litigation. It's time for this nonsense to stop and we all move forward. Thank you.
Thank you. That wasn't an easy speech, I don't think, but thank you for your comments. Appreciate it very much. Now we're on to page 2, and we have the Bowers. That you guys? Okay. Okay, yeah, I see the same address. Duh. Figured that one out.
Good evening. I'm Kellen Bauer. I'm a 10th grade student at Northern Lehigh. My academic behavior and history will show that I do well in school and stay out of trouble. I had the good fortune of being coached by Mike Bauer, my father, when I played 7th and 8th grade basketball. In basketball, when things did not go my way, my dad would say, "Hey, Kel, grab a ball." Sometimes we shoot basketball long after the sun and despite the freezing temperatures. I've been a varsity starter for soccer and basketball for the past 2 seasons. Although we haven't had tremendous varsity success, I understand that my coaches are trying their best and may not always be perfect. Through my middle school and varsity experiences, I have faced adversity. Sometimes I missed a shot or made a bad play. I can understand the response to blame the coach. But in middle school, my dad was the coach. So if I tried to blame him, he'd say, "Hey, Cal, grab a ball." We'd shoot basketball long into the nights. The reason I'm sharing these stories is because my dad has really tried to make this organization competitive within our community, starting with my brothers and me. He's coached youth basketball since 2014 and has run our varsity summer league for the last 2 seasons. Truthfully, I wish he would be considered to coach me at the varsity level. I know many of my teammates feel the same. The disagreements that the adults have shared could have been conducted in private. As a community, we would all be better off. It should not have taken the wisdom of a 15-year-old kid to point this out. My father is a good and reasonable man. If parents had issues, why were those issues never addressed with him or with his assistant coach, Fran? Again, a 15-year-old should not be pointing this out. As we move forward, let's please end these public accusations. Ultimately, it is the kids, the teammates, and the friendships that suffer. Thank you.
Thank you. You're on.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Michael Bauer. Like my brother Kellen, I've played basketball at the middle school level for the past 2 years, and my father has coached me for both years. My dad has coached middle school basketball for 4 years now, and for 4 years he's had his son on the team. Tonight I wish to share with all you the past 2 seasons my father had an assistant coach. Last year, Mr. Zach Williams was nearly at every game and practice. This year, Coach Fran has attended every practice and game. The reason why this is important is because my dad had an assistant coach and his own children present at every game or practice. If parents had issues, why are the assistant coaches not allowed to share their experiences? Why didn't any parent say something to either of the coaches? Why wouldn't one of my teammates say something to me? Please ask yourselves these same questions. I'm here tonight with many of my teammates. We had a very different experience playing middle school basketball than the experience that was described by a few unhappy parents. Unfortunately, we will never know if every player or parent could have the same great experience that the majority of the middle school players had experienced because these parents choose to never say a word about their issues to now. I look forward to playing 9th grade basketball. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Moving down, I see Ashley is a no. Eric King is a yes, Ashley's a no, so.
Good evening, members of the school board. My name is Eric King. I'm the parent of 2 children that have had the privilege of being coached by Mike in both soccer and basketball over the last 10 years. I'm here this evening to address the recent claims that have been made against Mike and to express our unwavering support for him. It is my firm belief that these claims are not only unsubstantiated but deeply damaging to Mike's reputation and positive environment he cultivates for our student athletes. After careful consideration and throughout conversations with other parents and students, my family and I can confidently attest that these claims lack any credible evidence, and it is important to remember that accusations without factual backing can have a devastating impact on a person's character and livelihood. Coach Mike and his family consistently demonstrate exceptional commitment to the development of student athletes, both on the field and off. They have generously donated countless hours of their time to volunteer through middle school program and the youth athletics, going well above and beyond what is expected of a single coach. I can recall a time when my own son was ready to give up on a soccer career, and Coach Mike had actually called him after school one day and left a voicemail that was encouraging him to consider signing up for high school soccer. That motivated him to persevere and continue playing at the high school level. This is just one example of the many lives that Mike has positively impacted. Numerous students and parents, and even grandparents, have expressed their sincere appreciation for Coach Mike's dedication and positive influence that he's had on our children. We've compiled a list of parents who can personally attest to Coach Mike's character and positive impact he has had on their children's lives. These accusations not only tarnish Coach Mike's reputation, but also create a disruptive and negative atmosphere for our students. It is imperative that the school board take a stand against claims and publicly affirm their support for Coach Mike. Our children deserve a dedicated and supportive coaches like Mike. He is an invaluable asset to our school community, and I urge you to stand behind him and ensure that our students can continue to benefit from his exceptional guidance and mentorship. Thank you.
Thank you.
We do have a list. I believe there's over 50 family members now that have signed that throughout the community that have no complaints. They actually voice their support for him.
Sure.
Just if you guys would like to see some of that, then at some point we'll do a whole list.
Thank you. Okay, I think, let's see, she got her comments in. We're down to Eric. Is it Daniela? I'm sorry. I have trouble reading it.
Yes.
Eric?
I've been a member of this community for almost 28 years. And as my children grew up from the beginning, Coach Mike, I'm talking soccer, little pee-wee soccer, you know. He devoted all his time for the kids. And as time went on, right into basketball, I mean, I feel like, if anything, he taught my son how to play basketball. And I could reiterate the same things that everyone else has said so far about Coach Mike. about all the things that have taken place over the years, but I feel that we're blessed to have him as a coach. And he opens, you know, he's always looking for more things. He's giving his time. He's very passionate about it, and he's always looking to for like summer programs and to keep the kids involved so they don't get their minds on getting into trouble. I mean, he even opens, you know, he has things at his home, which how many parents would, you know, open their home up to, you know, having basketball playing at their home? I mean, he opens it to everybody, everyone. It's not, he doesn't single nobody out. Is he a tough coach? Sure he is, but I feel my son's disciplined. Both of my kids are students here in this district, and they're both doing extremely well in school. But as I said, I feel blessed to have him as our coach because he devotes so much. I don't know how many parents would do what he does. Yeah, do I disagree with him sometimes? Absolutely. But the long and short of it is, he knows what's going on. He's the coach. Let him do his job. You know, I only stayed for a few of the B games where, you know, as the parents were playing from the stands, you know. It's like, let the coach do his job. I mean, I'm not here to bash nobody. We're all a community here. But that's it. I mean, really. I mean, from when my kids were real little to up to now. I mean, and hopefully going forward. This is, you know, he devotes everything to this place, to this organization. Him and Jackie, the whole family. That's what I have to say about it. Thank you. Thanks for your time.
Okay, that's the last person on the sign-up sheet. I would say, however, that some people came after the sheet was picked up. If anybody came late and wants to comment, we'll give you a couple minutes. Anybody want to say anything? No? Last chance? Thank you for coming. I have one question. There's 2 Rosarios on her. Where's the Rosarios? Do you have like an uncle or a grandfather or something who's a plumber in Catasauqua? No, not him. Jose? No. Okay, he's my plumber. When I saw the name, I thought maybe you were related to him or something.
Just trying to get a discount.
Thanks anyway. Okay, I guess that's the end of recognition of guests. If there's no other business to be attended to, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you, sir. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor of adjourning, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. And we are done here. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.